Now I will make a contrast using both approaches at the same time. Um, by both approaches, I mean comparing the before and after of implementing the AAPP collision detection, filtering by a broad phase, and also using an efficient constraint scheduling. So I'm going to run each of the simulations for 2 minutes. This first one is the code as it was in the beginning, just after finishing point 1 and 2, um, and the uh, exhaustive approach that we have at the beginning. We can see that the constraints are not being addressed. Objects keep spreading out, and the constraint that was specified in this file is not being respected. Each object must be separated at most 2.5 units of measurement from its corresponding um, other attached mesh. Only the early objects that were introduced in the simulation uh, have their constraints somehow being addressed. Uh, we know that this is because the constraints are not being resolved, and since the constraints are solved always in the same order in the file, only these constraints are solved and not randomly iteratively along the rest of the objects, the rest of the constraints in the simulation. So now I'm going to switch to um, the entire implementation. So here I merged both branches on which I have the whole implementation that I did for making this simulation much more efficient. So let's just wait for a while until this finishes building. There we go. So I'm going to run the simulation once again for 2 minutes only. The difference is evident uh, outside. The simulation runs much faster than it did before, and we can see that even though the number of um, that the constraints are not being resolved, these are being solved not as well as expected. But at the end of the simulation, we see that all of the constraints are solved at the end. And the simulation uh, gets stable, stabilizes. There we go. 500 objects had fallen in bundles of 5, and their constraints have been solved. And I guess that the simulation has just stabilized. Yeah, that's it.